companies that they've worked for in their bio, and then they have their pronouns at the end, you know that that blue check mark means a lot to them. And that's fine. You know, people value different things. I value, you know, relationships in life and truth and morals. They worship a little blue check mark next to their name. It's different strokes for different folks. But this particular situation I want to talk about is because this person is the PR representative for Razer. Now, I don't really care what hardware stuff you guys like or not. You know, it's up to you. But I want to first and foremost say that I'm a customer. In fact, I've spent, I don't know, I spent like about $1,000 there last fall. You could see I just bought a Razer Firefly mouse pad, a Black Widow V3, a Razer Naga X MMO gaming mouse, as well as their Tartarus V2 gaming pad. This is last fall. Okay, this is the current setup that I have. So, dear Razer, as a customer, you know, I've got something, you know, to have a, you know, we've got to have a conversation here. You know, companies that, you know, employees should feel free to say whatever they want, you know, on their own time. I agree with that. But when you use your company for internet clout, things become a little bit different. Now, this is very common in the gaming space to have employees that think they're, you know, that are too big for their britches, but it's not really common in any other industry. In fact, it's rare, but in gaming and in that space happens all the time. I'm glad that, you know, I'm not going to throw my Razer stuff out. That's dumb. I spent way too much money on it, and I don't really have any problems with it. But what I can tell you is when my brand new Meta PC gets here tomorrow, I'll consider getting a different keyboard and mouse set. Speaking of Meta, check this out. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Meta PCs. Now, I know you're not going to run out and quick buy a brand new computer just because I ran this ad, but what I would hope is that you'll keep Meta PCs in mind for a variety of reasons and use my promo code, TheQuartering, to save big at checkout. Look, Meta PCs offers custom configurations. It has insane parts availability. They're one of the few people I see out there with the brand new NVIDIA 3090 in stock and shipping. When you buy from them, they offer you build photos as they work along. When you receive your PC, it's ready to go out of the box. It's 100% US-based sales and support. And one of my favorite things, it's a veteran-owned business. Meta PCs is veteran-owned. One of Meta's owners has served in Afghanistan and Iraq and received a Purple Heart for his service. Meta also employs military veterans in the Meta Operations Center and also provides systems to veterans going back to school to help them re-enter the workforce all across the United States. Meta PCs also offers financing. Head on over to MetaPC at metapcs.com. Use code TheQuartering at checkout to save money and support my content. If nothing else, go configure a PC, build a little wish list, and when you're ready, remember to use code TheQuartering at checkout at MetaPCs. Now, I've already showed you that I spend a lot of money on Razer products. I don't really shill for them because I don't care. Whatever hardware stuff you want to use, you use. People ask me all the time, what's your setup? I don't talk about it because I don't want to tacitly endorse somebody, a company that does stuff like this. So we talked about yesterday, I didn't actually cover this, but after Melonie Mac put that video out talking about, you know, people in the industry going behind her back and telling her that she shouldn't be friends with me, somebody emailed her this: Melonie, if you hope to be gainfully employed in the entertainment/gaming space again, it might be honest not to flaunt your friendship with Jeremy Hambly. Ooh, yes, they used my full name. So powerful. Remember, archive.org and similar services exist. This is a threat, right? This is a threat. No doubt about it. And who do we get replying to it? Will Powers. Don't know who that is. Never talked to him before. Never covered anything with him, I don't think. But his response is, it's fair. He's quite literally the worst. I don't know why he would say that. I've never had any interaction with him. But you could see some of the replies has not gone so well. It's fair to harass a woman I've never met because she's friends with someone I don't like. That's a fair point. And what if I also told you that Will Powers has a little problem with some Me Too claims? I'm sure you would be shocked. I'm sure you'd be absolutely shocked. You can see Lamau. No, how so? He has different opinions on things. You know, little PP energy. Okay, he, him. This is quite pathetic coming from the PR leader of Razer. Glad you guys think it's cool to marginalize people based on their friends. Hence, why would everyone should buy Logitech? Look, I'm not throwing my Razer stuff out. It fits my needs. I like it. I'm not telling anyone to not buy Razer stuff. I would never do that. Well, maybe if they put some sort of mandate on their employees, I'd have a problem with it. But like, you could see, I don't love his content all the time, and I think he could be prone to diving into drama unnecessarily, but he's a good guy who is far from, quote, the worst. As a PR lead, this is actually bizarre behavior on your part. Now, of course, he got absolutely demolished. 118 replies. I'd say he regrets this comment just a little bit. And it's bringing up, you know, you could see, here's Nick's Universe, apparently doesn't like me, saying, it's really not. I think Jeremy is a hypocritical, hate-farming cornball, but regardless of how I feel about him, we have to stop with this if you're their friend, you can't be mine mentality. We're too grown for that. I agree. Gonna take my Razer products back and swap them for something better. SteelSeries is a brand I use for headphones. Ugh, don't tell them about the Bully Busters thing that they had. Razer products are overpriced and cheaply made anyway. Can we stop using the word literally when it really isn't? Because there are worse people out there than there are people here that don't like me. By the way, this is also the company that made fake N95 masks and then had to issue an apology for it. Remember that? Here you go. I don't like the quartering at all, but it's flat out wrong to ostracize someone who merely associates with him. I personally don't care if other people like him. It's quite pathetic coming from the PR leader of Razer. I mean, he's just getting destroyed. And then, of course, he went on to complain about it. And again, I don't endorse anybody contacting this person. I don't. But I will defend myself when the PR lead for a company that I spent, I don't know, about $1,000 there just like a week or a couple months ago, writes, immediately after this, by the way, writes, it's wild how quick people are to tweet at your employer to try to get you fired for having an opinion that differs from theirs. Are you really this hypocritical? Bro. The internet has ruined people's ability to have any sort of nuanced discourse. Nuanced discourse? What exactly was nuanced about you saying the quartering's literally the worst? Didn't you support a comment about an email saying don't associate with X if you want to have a job? Yes. Because he sends a hate mobs after people. No, I don't. If you watch my content, you are probably, other than me asking people to click that red button to subscribe, by the way, please do that, or putting sponsors in them, the third most annoying thing that you know about my content, maybe fourth after speaking too slow, is that I always go out of my way to say, bros, don't do that. Don't dogpile on people. I don't support it. I absolutely don't. I have a platform to defend myself. Razer is going to see this video. People at Razer will see this video. I don't want him fired, and I don't want people throwing out the Razer stuff and wasting money just to prove a point. Now, when you're due for a new keyboard and mouse, maybe consider a company that doesn't go out of their way to get involved in internet drama. Maybe consider a company that's PR lead doesn't go out of their way to endorse threatening women. Please tell me what your awful opinion was. Now I'm curious. You see, how does don't associate with X if you don't want a job any different than don't associate with X or I won't buy Razer products again? You are supporting the same thing that people claim to have ruined the ability to have any sort of nuanced discourse. I'm not tweeting at her employer. I sent a message to her. It's very different. No, it isn't. It really isn't. You endorse exactly the same thing, so why should anyone feel bad for you? And then how about this? The guy preys on women in the gaming industry and moves on to the next victim when he sees fit. He fetishizes Asian women and almost exclusively dates them based on his dating history. By the way, who cares about that? he likes to date Asian girls, big deal. He probably, you know, some people might say that, you know, they're smaller in stature and other things might look bigger to them. That's just, some people might say that. I'm not saying that. Some people might, though. On media, he touts about supporting women and saying stuff like believe women and women are being abused when he's a scumbag towards women. I'm so terrified of what the outcome might be from posting this, but I hope so. But I've been so angry since. He works PR, so he's like going to try to spin this in his favor. I'm hoping he can find peace and help and avoid hurting more women. Him writing, there's tons of abusers that are still out there, and the amount of people that are in my DMs right now talking about them are a testament to that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What about Sophia Narwitz keeping the receipts? Shortly after you said all of this, you got me too'd. Curious what your response would be. Oh, shut the F up with this performance BS. This is a woman talking to him. The S that's been said about you by men and women for years in whisper networks and group chats is beyond damning. What? Women and men are finally coming forward about this clown's behavior that's been talked about in private for years. How about this thread? With how small the industry is, we all know both the accusers and the accused in almost every situation with every new person's named. It's just a lot. What would you do if someone had spoken up to you? What are you talking about? Sorry, I didn't mean to sound rude. I just wonder how someone would react if caught up in a situation. And then Big Fry says, well, actually. And then you have Summer saying, my experience with Will Powers. Oops. Does he automatically believe her or what? You can say what you want about me. You cannot like my content. You cannot like my cadence. You can think I run too many ads. You can think that my content isn't worth subscribing to. But what you can't do is make up unfounded lies about me. Obviously, I'm not, quote, literally the worst. Obviously, I don't send hate mobs after people. And obviously, unlike a lot of my accusers, I don't have these deep, dark histories of women saying I've treated them, mistreated. In fact, if you look around to any woman that's actually interacted with me in the recent history, they're always talking about how I uplift women in this space and defend them. So maybe clean out your own closet, Will, before you damage your employer anymore. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.